Network Center. This is IchiTV News Now.
Good afternoon. Today is March 24, 2025. The headlines. Former President Rodrigo Duterte remains confident that he has no case to answer before the International Criminal Court. Oil prices are on the rise once again as the final week of March begins. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. may visit US President Donald Trump in the first half of 2025. Trading at the Philippine Stock Exchange experienced delays on Monday due to political issues. World News Pope Francis has been forced to slow down on his return home due to health concerns. In the Middle East, Israel continues to press its ground offensive in Gaza as international calls for a ceasefire persists. In sports, Barangay Ginebra is on the brink of clinching the PBA Commissioner's Cup title. In the UAAP, the NU Bulldogs extended their winning streak to 8. Entertainment news: global pop icon Mariah Carey is set to stage a concert in Manila on October 19. And veteran actor Aga Mula meets with pride as his son Andres earns his first showbiz accolade. Hi, I'm Oskee Walden. IchiTV News Now begins right now. Thanks for joining us. For those who are watching us on YouTube and on Twitch, I'd like you to join us today. Our top story at this hour: former President Rodrigo Duterte believes he has no case to answer at the International Criminal Court. Vice President Sara Duterte said Sunday and is confident he has a strong legal argument. The Vice President told reporters her father was now in better health, appearing fatigued and dazed at his first hearing at the ICC. He's very confident about the legal arguments. The Vice President said her father continues to ask her about the timelines and legal strategies of his legal defense team. She told scores of supporters gathered at Het Middelhead in the city of The Hague, Netherlands, to continue on the ICC and the Philippine government to send her father back home. The 79-year-old former president faces a charge of crimes against humanity tied to his war on drugs, in which thousands were killed. He is currently in a detention center in The Hague, awaiting confirmation of charges hearing on September 23, where he will have the opportunity to contest accusations against him. Duterte was bundled into a plane in Manila and brought to The Hague via Dubai, appearing barely awake and at his initial hearing 2 days later. In her speech, Vice President Duterte said that while many people are urging her to run for president in 2028, she will always give the same answer. For those who tell me to run in 2028, I don't think we will have a country by 2028. When they asked by the media whether she is feeling angry, the Vice President said she has no time to be angry. There's no time to be angry right now, so I just feel that I just need to set up the system here in The Hague so I can go back home because I'm impeachment case as well. I need to attend to and I have an office. Just projects that I need doing, so I need to set up the system here so I can go back and forth with my case, his case, my work, the Vice President said. In other news, oil prices are going up in the last week of March. Petroleum companies announced the following price hikes effective Tuesday, March 25. For Shell Pilipinas, Celtic Sea oil effective 6 a.m. Gasoline is increasing 1 peso and 10 centavos. Kerosene is 40 centavos increase, and diesel remains at 40 centavos. For clean fuel, gasoline is 1 peso and 10 centavos per liter increase. Diesel is 40 centavos per liter. For the overall, gasoline increases 1 peso and 10. Diesel is 40 centavos and kerosene is 40 centavos. This is Director the third Odero Mero of the DOE Oil Industry Management Bureau earlier said factors affecting oil prices include Israel's expansion of ground operations against Gaza, rationing up tensions in the Middle East, and China's new consumption extraction plant, which is expected to increase demand. The decline in U.S. oil inventories also affecting prices. Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. may visit the White House to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in the next couple of months, following twin visits by two top U.S. officials to the Philippines. The Philippine ambassador to the U.S. said Monday. Philippine Ambassador Jose Manuel Romualdez said Marcos' visit may be scheduled to after U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visit to the Philippines on March 28-29, where he is set to meet President Marcos and Defense Secretary Gilbert Chodoro. The U.S. Department of Defense earlier said Hegseth will travel to the Philippines to advance security objectives with Philippine leaders and meet with the U.S. and Philippine forces. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. may visit the White House to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in the next couple of months, following twin visits by top two U.S. officials to the Philippines. The Philippine ambassador to the U.S. said Monday. Philippine Ambassador Jose Manuel Martes said Marcos' visit may be scheduled after U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visited the Philippines on March 20th. Maybe President Marcos and Defense Secretary Wilbur Chadoro. So Romualdez added President Trump is still taking ongoing negotiations for a truce between Russia and Ukraine. Marcos earlier congratulated Trump taking office, said he's looked forward to working closely with the new U.S. administration. The strong and lasting PH-US alliance will continue to uphold our shared vision of prosperity and security in the region, he added. The United States has a decades-old security alliance with the Philippines that includes the Mutual Defense Treaty and 2014 Pact, which allows U.S. military to store equipment on the 9 Philippine bases. Manila has stepped up security cooperation with the U.S., Washington, and blurred China's efforts to control most of the disputed South China Sea. In business news, the opening of trade at the Philippine Stock Exchange was delayed on Monday morning. In a memorandum, PSE President Ramon Monson said the pre-open was at 11:05 p.m., while market open was scheduled at 11:10 a.m. Monson earlier said the delay is because of a system connectivity issue. For world news, once frenetic Pope Francis forced to go slow on return home. His life is one of speeches, masses, and visits from heads of state. But Pope Francis, who returned home from hospital Sunday, will have to put all that on hold. Francis XI is the head of some 1.4 billion Catholics globally, as well as leader at the Vatican, a tiny walled city-state in the middle of Rome and the world's smallest country. Since his elections in 2013, the Argentine, who never takes holidays, has followed a frenetic schedule that he has repeatedly refused to reduce, despite his advancing ancient warnings to doctors to slow down. But after nearly dying twice during his hospitalization, the longest in his 12-year papacy, Francis has been ordered to undergo a 2-month convalescence period before returning to normal life. The Pope left Rome's Gemelli Hospital on the 38th morning of his stay, marked by regular medical updates from the Vatican and evening prayers in St. Peter's Square. Now the Vatican enters a new phase, with the Pope safely home but banned from praying on special commitments. The Pope, who already suffered a series of health woes, has been weakened by pneumonia in both lungs. His doctors had a bias against him, meeting groups of people to limit the risk of infection, mingling with crowds of faithful, and kissing babies is out, has made business from heads of state and government. It is also unclear whether his one reaches the leading up to Easter, the holiest period in a Christian calendar. The restrictions to his activities are likely to spread Francis, who takes even evident pleasure in interacting with his flock and hosts country including many events marking the Jubilee, a holy year for the Catholic Church. Francis has been a media-friendly Pope, often cheerily posing for selfies with pilgrims, but for a while at least the faithful will have to get used to seeing him less in public. He is, however, expected to ease himself back into behind-the-scenes work, such as signing documents and appointing bishops, that he did in drips and dabs on his hospital bed. The Vatican has said whether it is excited to reveal enough for a planned visit to Turkey at the end of May. In other news, Israel's military pressured ground operations across the Gaza Strip on Sunday, urging Palestinians to flee and invest in Rafah city nearly a week into a renewed assault on the Hamas root territory. The latest evacuations warning follows a deadly flare-up in Lebanon and missiles were fired from Yemen, as Israeli troops again deploy parts of Gaza despite calls to revive a January truce. In a message that AFP correspondent said also appeared on leaflets dropped over this area by drone, Adri called on Palestinians there to leave the dangerous combat zone in Tal al-Sultan district and move further north. At a charity kitchen in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza's main city just north of Rafah, 19-year-old Iman al-Baldabil said the displaced Palestinians had struggled to afford food and drink. Before its renewed assault, Israel in early March blocked the entry of humanitarian and encouraged by extension of ceasefire and release by 50 hostages still held by Palestinian militants since October 27, 2023 that triggered the war. On Friday, Defense Minister Israel Katz said he had ordered the army to seize more territory in Gaza, warning Israel could annex it if Hamas failed to heed Israel's demands to the next steps in Gaza ceasefire. Hamas accused Israel of sacrificing hostages with the resumed bombardments, while many of their families of the captives had called for a renewed ceasefire. Nothing but most of the released alive did during suture periods. An Israeli airstrike Saturday on the displacement camp in the Khan Yunis area killed senior Hamas political official Salah Arbadawil and his wife, the Quds said. Arbadawil is the third member of the Hamas political bureau killed in Israeli strike since last week. For sports news, Ginebra on brink of Commissioner's Cup title after Game 5 comeback versus TNT. Ginebra is now trying away from clinching the PBA season 49 Commissioner's Cup title. This as the Gene Kings made a gutsy escape TNT in Games 5, 73-66 on Saturday at Smart Arnetta Coliseum. Trained by one of the around 4 minutes left, former league MVP Scotty Thompson granted the Gene Kings the lead for good with a jumper 67-66 as star import Justin Brownlee made sure to expand that cushion more than enough to secure the 3-2 lead. The Tropang Giga were also silenced after raining about attack freebies at the 4:25 mark, ready to convert baskets to make a run. TNT's Rondes Hollis Jefferson, Glenn Conpitin, and RR Pogoy still had last-ditch tries to inch closer after an RJ Aparientos turnover with 25-2 ticks on the clock to no avail as they suffered unfortunate misses. But before that, Team Combs Wards trailed by double digits after 2 quarters, 45-35. The Gene Kings outsourced the Tropang Giga in the third period, 22-11 to claw their way back to the affair. Brownlee finished with 18 points with an efficient 9 of 5, 15 clip to go along with a 14 rebounds and 5 assists, while Thompson also had a double-double, 16 points and 10 rebounds. Big man Japet Aguilar and another ace in Maverick Amansi joined them in a twin-digit scoring with 11 points each. Hollis Jefferson concluded with 19 points, although he shot poorly on the field, making only 7 field goals on 26 attempts. Nabatak also had 19 markers for himself, built on triples. The Gene Kings have a chance to wait in all this Wednesday, March 26 at the same Quezon City venue. For UAP News, National University takes care of business against LaSalle for 8th straight win. National University flexes its form against De La Salle University to remain spotless at UAP Season 87 Women's Volleyball Tournament. The Lady Bulldogs took care of business at the Lily Cyclers during their Sunday evening face-off at Small Aviation Arena, and it's allowed the reigning champions to tally their 8th straight win as the remaining games. Season 87 MVP frontrunner Bella Belen had another impressive game for National U, putting up 23 points, 17 receptions, and 7 digs, while Eliza Solomon provided might with 90 markers and 5 digs. Other than stay composed, Belen said that one major factor for this now how LaSalle showed how prepared they were for a highly anticipated matchup. After they saw a 16-11 lead in the fourth with those two, 1917 Belen off the block and hit the narrows from Angel Canino and Shili Pena Laput, resulted in Anyo producing a 23-17 fusion. A cross-score kill from Solomon then put the Spikers from Johnson Street at match point, then another error from Canino, a net violation that LaSalle did not challenge, eventually ended the game. Due to this, fell to 5-3, tied with Far Eastern University and UST. It also spoiled Laput and Canino's impressive performances with a former putting up 19 points on 16 attacks, 2 blocks, and an ace, while the latter scattered 3 markers, 20 receptions, and 4 digs. For entertainment news, the best-selling female artist of all time, Mariah Carey, is bringing the celebration of Mimi tour to Manila on October 14 at the SM Mall of Asia Arena, presented by Global Slide. Ticket details will be announced soon and will be available by the smtickets.com and SM Ticket outlets nationwide. She is primarily known for her numerous hit songs such as We Belong Together, Fantasy, All I Want for Christmas Is You, Always Be My Baby, and My All, among many others. She is also widely regarded as a patron saint of high and wisdom notes. And finally, Aga Mulak on son Andres Mulak's first showbiz accolade, Proud of You. Proud dad Aga Mulak shared in the Instagram post that he had tears of joy as his son Andres Mulak received his first ever award in the showbiz industry as the best new male TV personality at the 38 p.m. PC Star Awards for television. Blessings come your way, son. Keep up the good work. God be with you always. Always remember, his plans are ours. Congratulations. Proud of you. Love you, man. He expressed taking pride in his son's achievement. Andres was recognized for his performance in the sitcom series where he shared with his parents and twin sister Atasha. Following the footsteps of his parents, Andres also dedicated his award to his family. I'd like also to thank my family. My father was also an inspiration to me, my mom who continues to help with me every single day, and of course my sister who I love so much. In the same post, Aga also expressed his appreciation for his daughter Atasha, who is set to take the lead role in the Philippine TV series adaptation of a 2017 Time movie Bad Genius, which is aired on TV5. Charlie Gonzalez, in a separate post, also congratulated their son and thanked the individuals, institutions, supporters, to Capitol Andres victory, the Vivo Artist Agency of which Andres is a part of, also congratulating the rising artist. Last Friday, March 21, the rising artist dropped a rendition of Hot Dog's rendition hit Ikaw ang Miss Universe ng Buhay Ko. Before wrapping up for today, let's recap the headlines. Former President Rodrigo Duterte remains confident that he has no case to answer before the International Criminal Court. Oil prices are on the rise once again as the final week of March begins. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. may visit US President Donald Trump in the first half of 2025. Trading at the Philippine Stock Exchange experienced delays on Monday due to political issues. World News Pope Francis has been forced to slow down on his return home due to health concerns. In the Middle East, Israel continues to press its ground offensive in Gaza as international calls for a ceasefire persist. In sports, Barangay Ginebra is on the brink of clinching the PBA Commissioner's Cup title. In the UAAP, the NU Bulldogs extended their winning streak to 8. Entertainment news: global pop icon Mariah Carey set to stage a concert in Manila on October 19. And veteran actor Aga Mula beats with pride as his son Andres earns his first showbiz accolade. And that'll do it for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Oskee Walden. If you want to visit today's episode, you can play us with Newscast on our YouTube channel and on IchiTV on Facebook. Keep well, keep it here at IchiTV.
Live from the IchiTV Network Center. This is IchiTV News Now.